If there's one thing that we can agree on, it's that Sweet Baby Inc. is in deep doo-doo, and with each passing day, that doo-doo gets even deeper. Turns out that these people are attending the GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference. It's something that was founded in 1988, started with about 25 people, and it has been going on to this day. It says on the website that the GDC is the game industry's premier professional event, championing game developers in the advancement of their craft. So why am I talking about this today? Well, the people who are involved in this and helming a couple of these community spaces today are the people who run Sweet Baby Inc. And recently, Sweet Baby Inc., after all of the backlash they have gotten for trying to cancel an innocent person and for calling a whole bunch of people a bunch of ists and phobes, they have gone completely into hiding. And not only that, but their people who have been defending them on social media for days now have also gone into hiding. And I find it interesting that they are attending this event. As you can see here, Grums, who has been on this situation since day one, he's been distributing very accurate information that's been verified later to the masses on social media. He says right here, I can confirm from my sources that Sweet Baby Inc. is not gone just in hiding. Publishers are worried that connection with SBI will result in reduced sales, so SBI won't be updating their website credits. Instead, you will have to search staff names in game credit listings. So the other day I mentioned in my video that you can no longer find any newer games that these people are involved with unless you search their names specifically, because they do not update their website. And it has even been suggested and shown in some receipts that they have removed certain information from their websites because of all of the backlash that they've received from gamers. And this is supposed to make it way more difficult for people to discover if SBI, Sweet Baby Inc., is active in the development of a video game. But people are still resourceful and they're finding ways to find them. But it's not just Sweet Baby Inc. that are trying to remove themselves from these websites and to erase themselves from history so that people don't see what they're up to. It's also the studios themselves who have Sweet Baby Inc. under their wing. If you look right here, from Grums again, Reflector Entertainment spurred out on their forums, banning 99% of forum users since they were accused of being a Sweet Baby Inc. game. I also mentioned this in my video as it was a rumor that was being spread around. It turns out it's true. The former brand director of Reflector is co-founder and COO of SBI. Google search confirms. Why do they hide? And that is an interesting question. Why is it that Sweet Baby Inc. is going so far out of their way to keep themselves hidden from the masses? And this is actually very revealing here. If you're not aware, and I did put this in a video yesterday, there is a video game coming out that is being published by Bandai Namco, but developed by Reflector Entertainment. And you have both founders of Sweet Baby Inc. heavily involved in this project, with the co-founder. It shows in this photo David Bedard's work. Co-founder, chief operating officer, and director at Sweet Baby Inc. And his position in this studio is marketing and narrative consultant, brand content manager at Reflector Entertainment. That is wild. So all these people saying that Sweet Baby Inc., they don't have their fingers in everything. They don't do what you think they do. They are involved heavily. They have prominent positions in these studios. Not only are people posting on their forums on Steam right now saying, hey, I can't wait to get banned by you guys since you wiped out 99% of your forums already, you can't even get into their Discord. I tried to get into their Discord yesterday and the day before, and it says that they are halting invites. You can look at my video if you want proof. I tried to join their Discord and I couldn't do it. And therein lies a growing problem. Whenever these people are backed into a corner and confronted on the things that they're doing to video games and how they're trying to alienate a whole bunch of the gamer base, including white males for some reason, they go into hiding and they protect their tweets and they shut down their websites and they try to hide their existence from people because they know deep down that what they're doing is wrong. And this becomes even more apparent when you have the shill media writing defense articles for Sweet Baby Inc. while also attacking gamers, calling them a bunch of Nazis, Gamergate 1.0, people who are just repeating the mistakes of the old days to bring about a new form of racism and misogyny. And then the writer, Ash Parrish, the person who writes this article, then admits in DMs, maybe unintentionally or intentionally, who knows, that they purposefully omit very vital information that would change the entire perspective of the story she's writing. That would basically paint Sweet Baby Inc. as the villains while making gamers the victims. She willfully admits omitting that information because they hide the truth. This is what they do. You can see it right here. I hear you. This is in a DM from Ash Parrish to somebody she was talking to about the article. I hear you and I understand, and this is where we part, ideologically at least. I'll share the conversation I had with my editors about this because in preparation for my piece, I struggled with this particular bit, and the conversation I had really helped me understand. Kabrutus and his ilk have a grievance against Sweet Baby Inc. that is rooted in racism and misogyny and has no basis in the reality of how video game development works. That's it. Period. So where's the proof that she's getting from this? Because the message that she pulled from the Discord yesterday was extremely vague. It said, I'm so happy to be a racist. And it's just like, racist towards who? Who were you talking to? And was that person banned after what they said? But she takes these little words that don't matter and she tries to conflate them with other ideas outside of the Discord to try and make it look like white male gamers are just out to get diverse game studios and companies. And she says, when you get into the nitty gritty of who did what, when, not obviously the who's and what's that are necessary to explaining the story, that central premise gets lost. And me personally, I have to remember what my piece is ultimately about. So what she's trying to get at is, oh, I did it for a reason. I omitted that important information for a reason, because her ultimate purpose is this. And she says, and it's not about providing timeline of events, because why would you want to provide an accurate timeline of events? It's bigger than that. It's about explaining that the reason you're hearing about this company called Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate 2.0 getting thrown around is because there's a group of people who decided they hate woke video games and found a convenient scapegoat to target and a larger conspiracy to underpin it. So that is the message she went with. And she admitted outright that, yes, I omitted the fact that Kabrutus Rambo was harassed by a Sweet Baby Inc. employee, and that employee tried to get that person canceled through mass reports to Steam. But let's go ahead and forget and gloss over that. By the way, after this reporter was called out for this nonsense, wouldn't you know it, she protected her tweets. So all of her tweets are protected. She's also attending the GDC, the Game Developers Conference. These people are not only running defense for Sweet Baby Inc., they are also attending the very conferences that Sweet Baby Inc. are also attending, which I find to be very fascinating. Okay, but what about Chris Kindred, the person who harassed Kabrutus from the very start and basically conducted an entire harassment campaign against him? Let's see how Chris is doing. Oh, of course, the tweets are protected. This is what these people do. They hide the truth from you. They hide their existence from you, and then they try to blame you for trying to call them out on their nonsense. But while we're here roasting them on social media and calling them out for all of the things that they say that aren't true, all of their misogyny and their racism, they are at a conference right now pushing straight up propaganda. As you can see here, there is a schedule of the events that are going to be taking place and have already taken place over the last couple of days, since the event takes place between the 18th and the 22nd. But today is Wednesday, and there are several things that I find concerning. There are a bunch of events that they're pushing in this program here: advocacy, micro talks, culture, civics, and karma, which has so much to do with video games, diversity in game audio roundtable, Latin in game roundtable. And this one I find particularly interesting. This one takes place between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., which means it probably just now happened as I was recording this. And this says, so you've been canceled, now what? And the speakers are Jay Lynn, Carl Murray Olson. And this one's very interesting. It says, can someone who has hurt others even repeatedly actually change? What comes after the call out? What can someone do if they've been called problematic but aren't totally sure why? Or after losing friends, jobs, and networks, how does a person move forward if they want to become someone who won't cause that type of harm, even unintentionally? Again, I don't know, maybe Ash Parrish and Chris Kindred and Sweet Baby Inc. can attend this so that they can learn a few things, because a lot of people are having trouble believing that these people can change. But it says, for the last 2 years, Respec has been talking to people in the games industry who have been called out, confronted, canceled, or fired for wrongdoing, harming others, or crossing boundaries or consent. By balancing compassion and accountability, Respec believes that restoring humanity to the experience of causing harm better fosters long-term change. Which is really funny, because getting canceled is exactly something that Sweet Baby Inc. has been dealing with over the past couple of weeks. Truly fascinating. I mean, on the front page, you have some of the people who are going to be speaking at this event, including Evan Narcisse, who's going to be talking to Kim Belair. Okay, I pulled this from a tweet because scrolling through all of those countless events takes forever. So I pulled these up in tweets. It's very helpful information. It says Game Narrative Summit, Comics to Games Adaptations. So the speakers for this are Evan Narcisse, Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Inc. It says action-oriented, visual, collaborative, and multidisciplinary comics and games are natural allies, and adaptations of comic book IPs into video games multiply every year. In 5 bite-sized, nutritious micro-talks, a panel of pros from both disciplines gather to share practical tips and knowledge to inspire and inform game devs of all stripes about, and get this guys, this is where it gets stupid funny, adapting a comic book IP into a game from conception to release, the canon and how to approach it, especially when dealing with marginalized characters whose portrayal must evolve even while the rules don't. You know, that just makes me think back to Spider-Man 2. That sounds like something that would be right up Sweet Baby Inc.'s alley. It's no surprise that they're talking about this, that they're helming this event, because what was the one thing that they messed up in that game? The canon, especially when it came to the marginalized characters and their portrayal. But it goes on to say what publishers and licensors need from story teams and what makes the best IP collaborations work, techniques comics can lend to making better games, how to build indie game stories from the ground up so that they have the potential to be adapted into other forms. But guess what? It doesn't stop here. There's another event that Kim Belair is in charge of and that she's speaking for. It's called the Black Designer's Dilemma, and I wonder what that dilemma could be. But it says, prepare to immerse yourself in an insightful panel presentation that transcends the traditional format. Building on the positive response from last year, our session introduces design challenges that tackle company culture issues affecting Black designers. So culture issues, I'm guessing gatekeeping, okay? The evil whites are keeping Blacks from making the games they want, and that's what Kim Belair wants to talk about. Join industry experts and professionals in collaborative problem solving and gain actionable insights for reshaping company cultures to empower Black designers. This is coming from Kim Belair. You know, it's really funny. Right below this post, somebody is talking about what Kim Belair said about white people. She said that they're picky babies who won't eat their vegetables. That's white male gamers, according to the co-founder of Sweet Baby. So at this conference, they are pushing propaganda through and through. They have a bunch of other stuff that they're going to be pushing over the next couple of days as the conference continues. And I also think that it's important to note that this is not the first time that these kinds of talks have been had at this conference without a bunch of people knowing about it. I found an X post that showed a couple of photos from a previous game developers conference from a previous year, because this was posted a few days before this event for 2024 started. But it says right here in this photo, end white cisgender able-bodied man as the default. So they don't want white cisgender men as the default in video games, as the main character in video games. Okay, it just makes you think back to Remedy. It makes you think back to Forspoken. Makes you think back to Suicide Squad even. I mean, and this says right here, the GDC, Game Developers Conference, February 27th to March 3rd, 2017. Okay, that was years ago. And from what I understand, all of these consultant agencies have been active for years. So things, I only imagine, have gotten much worse since then. And that's only one photo, because if you look at the second photo, look what it says here. Video games are political. The way we make games is political. The way that we teach our students to make games is political. This is just brainwashing, straight up brainwashing, teaching students to make socially aware games. This is at the GDC in 2017. So yeah, years have passed by since then. And you've got this conference that is going to be pushing a whole bunch of programs that don't make sense. Just look at this. Look at this extensive list pushing some kind of propagandistic message. Look, anti-Semitism in the games industry roundtable. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Some of these consultants agency websites are just straight up pushing decolonization of white people from video games. Like, this is a real big problem. And I don't think enough people are talking about the GDC, because while we're all here trying to figure out how deep this rabbit hole goes, these people are at a conference talking about how much they hate gamers and how much they want to change the game industry from within. Live service, subscriptions, and free to play, a new reality for console gaming. Yeah, right. You wish. Modernizing games with NVIDIA RTX Remix and generative AI. Oh, this one's really fun. The evolving social layers of gaming presented by Discord. I think it's so funny that Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment are involved in this. So it's all about evolving video games and trying to separate themselves from the cis white gendered males who have ruined gaming and created such a toxic environment, hurt Sweet Baby Inc., even though Sweet Baby Inc. is responsible for this entire conflict in the first place. And there's just this weird thing going on. There's this weird propagandistic mentality at GDC, and I can only imagine that the people attend either are not aware that this is such a huge problem, or they are, and they're parroting ideas that are very dangerous for the gaming industry. And by the way, none of these people are talking about this. All of their tweets are protected. Okay, they are hiding from you. They're hiding from us. You can't get a hold of Sweet Baby Inc. You can't find them unless you search names specifically, and they are panicking. While they're at this conference, I think it is very important for us to be aware of this and to continue to call this company out for anything that they are involved in, because I will guarantee you this, companies will take notice. As Grum said here, publishers are worried that connection with SBI will result in reduced sales. And what's the one thing that these game studios care about more than anything? Apparently money. But if money is the issue and Sweet Baby Inc. isn't bringing in that green, you're in a heap of trouble. And gamers are trying to let you know, but you're not listening. And I wonder if they ever will. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't had the chance to hit that like button and share this video with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Later. Meow, meow.